It's so crazy how we haven't even gone a pole distance into the new WNBA season, but the drama is already off the charts. And right in the middle of it all, once again, is Caitlin Clark. Only this time, the narrative has taken a wild new turn. The rookie sensation, who was once the easy target, is now fighting back, and she's got some powerful allies standing behind her. Clark's rookie season. Let's rewind a bit. Last season, as we all know, Caitlin Clark was thrown into the deep end of the league. Sure, rookies expect a bit of hazing, but what Caitlin went through was on another level. You don't just randomly end up being on the receiving end of 17% of all flagrant fouls in the entire league, unless something bigger is going on. Even NFL legend Shannon Sharp weighed in, saying if unnecessary roughness happened to one player 17% of the time, that's not an anomaly, that's not an outlier. And he was absolutely right. Caitlin wasn't just being challenged, she was being targeted. From day one, skeptics circled like vultures. Some WNBA veterans, former legends, and media personalities questioned whether she could handle the pros. But Caitlin didn't run from the challenge, she only simply let her game speak. Unfortunately for some, that wasn't enough still. The doubters didn't disappear, they just morphed into haters. Throughout her rookie campaign, Caitlin endured more than just tough competition. She faced cheap shots and mind games almost every time she stepped onto the court. Take Skylar Diggins-Smith, a six-time All-Star, who tried to rattle Caitlin after the Fever pulled off a win against the Seattle Storm. Then there was the Connecticut Sun guard DeWanna Bonner, who wasn't shy about taunting the 22-year-old rookie. Well, they are teammates now. That's how the odds change so easily. But then DeJuane Carrington, she took things even further, publicly blaming Caitlin for the behaviour of her fans and accusing her of hiding behind silence as a luxury. Even when she kept her head down and focused on her craft, Clark somehow became the lightning rod for controversy, blamed for things beyond her control. It was straight up bullying on and off the court, and yet Caitlin handled it all with grace. She refused to lash out, staying professional even as the fouls piled up and the taunts got louder. But as this new season kicked off, something shifted, or maybe everything did. The Indiana Fever guards stepped onto the court with a new fire. Gone was the version of Caitlin who let everything slide, and now she's dishing out as much as she's taking, and the message is clear, she's not afraid anymore. Right out of the gate, she set the tone. During a matchup with the Chicago Sky, Angel Reese, the same player who gave Caitlin trouble during her rookie season, found herself on the receiving end of a hard foul. Caitlin had enough. She wasn't about to let Angel shove her teammate Natasha without consequences. She fouled Angel hard on her layup attempt. The refs called it a flagrant foul. But Caitlin stood her ground, telling reporters that there was nothing malicious about it and that every player knows that. That might not sound like much at first, but anyone who's followed Caitlin knows the old Caitlin might have apologised, tried to smooth things over. What NBA legends feel about Clark? Hall of Famers like Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce have made it clear where they stand. In a recent podcast, they couldn't hide their admiration for how Caitlin is handling herself this season. I like watching the girls play, bro. It's a lot of fun. It's intense. Caitlin Clark is off that shit now. She let it all slide the first year. They were pushing her and all that. And she's like, you know what? And this is what it's going to be this year. And she set the tone. I like that. Now, it's not every day that NBA icons publicly back a second-year WNBA player like this. But Caitlin's evolution isn't just about her personal growth, it's symbolic. And while Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce have already praised Caitlin for finally clapping back at her critics, they're not the only ones speaking out. Former NBA player Keon Dooling nailed it perfectly when he said, "And I think she got 17% of all flagrant fouls were against her last year in the WNBA. But for every action, there's a reaction." And he's absolutely right. After what she endured, it was only natural for Caitlin to finally start dishing out what she's been receiving. Paul George, one of the NBA's biggest stars, also jumped into the conversation, applauding Caitlin not only for her basketball skills, but for how she's handled the pressure and backlash that's followed her rise. According to him, Caitlin's impact on the WNBA is undeniable. They've been grinding to grow the sport to the world of viewerships. They've been grinding for all of this, and then you have seen this girl that comes along from college and is an instant change. She's handed pretty much being the face of the league. There's going to be girls that are offended by that, and there's going to be girls that think she's got to earn it, and she doesn't deserve this early. She's handled it great. I think she performed last year. She's performing again this year. I think she's the rightful face of. Paul George didn't stop there. He made it clear that he admires not just her performance, but her courage to stand up to the constant jabs. Not only is the game talking, but she's out there talking like she's backing it up. I love Caitlin Clark's personality, man. I love her too, man. I think she's great for the game of basketball in general, bro. However, not everyone has been so supportive of Caitlin finally standing her ground. After her hard foul on Angel Reese, who had bullied Caitlin in the past, WNBA legend and longtime critic Sheryl Swoopes was quick to label Caitlin the bully this time. It was a surprising take, especially considering how much Caitlin endured during her rookie season, but Sheryl wasn't done. She doubled down, claiming Caitlin wasn't standing on business after fouling Angel, as if Caitlin should have somehow handled it differently. That's when a new wave of NBA voices came to Caitlin's defense. Former NBA stars Keon Martin, Gilbert Arenas, and Nick Young weren't about to let Sheryl Swoopes rewrite the story. They were quick to point out what everyone else saw. If anyone dished out a hard foul, it was Angel Reese when she shoved Caitlin's teammate Natasha. Gilbert Arenas and Nick Young even called Angel a flopper, saying her exaggerated reaction made the entire situation look worse than it really was. When Sheryl tried to argue that if the roles were reversed, it would be a bigger controversy, these NBA veterans shut that down too. They reminded everyone that last season, Caitlin took foul after foul and was simply told to toughen up. Now that she's defending herself, suddenly she's been labelled the villain. The hypocrisy didn't sit well with anyone who's actually played the game at the highest level. Jeff Teague, another former NBA All-Star, also sided with Caitlin, calling Angel Reese out for exaggerating the foul. If former NBA stars who played the game at the highest level think you are doing too much, then you know what? Maybe you are doing too much. Even Skip Bayless, who's never short of controversial opinions, was surprisingly in Caitlin's corner. Skip went as far as to issue a warning to those trying to tear Caitlin down. He pointed out the reality that many in the WNBA don't want to admit. Caitlin Clark is the reason the league's popularity has skyrocketed. You better believe that all of the established stars in this WNBA, as well as lots of veteran starters on every other team, constantly, quietly, privately complain to their coaches and their team executives about Caitlin Clark getting way too much attention and way too much credit for the exploding TV ratings. The attitude I sense from so many other older WNBA players seems to be, what are we, chopped liver? It's not just her driving these ratings, what have we been doing all of these years? Sorry ladies, but compared to her drawing power, you are chopped liver. You are just going to have to accept that she and she alone is driving the ratings way above what all of you together were able to generate before she first set foot on a WNBA stage. The outpouring of support from these NBA voices has made it clear that Caitlin's refusal to back down is not only justified, but necessary. She's finally refusing to play the quiet rookie who just takes hit after hit. The era of smiling through the bullying is over. Caitlin is playing with confidence, speaking with conviction, and earning the respect of basketball legends who know exactly what it means to stand tall in the face of adversity. Fans are noticing too, as one fan commented, "Love how Swoopes tried to paint a narrative and the NBA players were like, nope, priceless." And they're absolutely right. The league has never seen this version of Caitlin before, and if the early part of this season is any indication, her bullies better get ready because Caitlin Clark isn't just here to play, she's here to take over. If you enjoyed this video, the next one on your screen is definitely worth your time. Thanks for watching, see you next time, bye.